Hi, English 122 students in section 505. I am here to talk to you about your genre discussion board post. It'll just take me a couple of minutes to say, awesome listing, y'all. What great genres y'all came up with in your discussion board posts by the end of the day on February 20th. So what I did was I created a handout that we can use that lists many different genres. You know, our class, English 122, is called Composition 2, and our primary focus is on academic writing. Our primary focus should be on argument and persuasion. But in Essay 2, we're focusing a lot on revision, so we've kind of left the context of academic writing if you choose. You're choosing to do that. And a part of your choice that's controlling what kind of writing that you're doing is your practice with using different genres. And thank you also for the analysis you did on the readings that we're doing in Module 5 and Module 6. Those readings are repeating into Module 6. You're picking a different essay that you didn't read last week. And so thank you for your analysis on those writers' pieces as well, so that you could determine the different genres that are showing up within an essay, right? So that's what you're doing for Essay 2. You're revising probably for most of you an academic piece and turning it into something else because you're redefining the purpose and the audience and focusing on genre. You might find yourself leaving the context of academic writing, and that's okay for this assignment, y'all, because we're focusing on a major revision. And this might be the first time you've done a revision like this, where you're really putting strategies in place to revise something pretty thoroughly. New content, new focus, with purpose and audience changing, and then focusing on genres, and also focusing on exigence, which you all know means that ultimately you're drawing a very, very strong connection between you and your new readers. So fantastic list on genres, y'all. I want to point out a few that I think are particularly interesting. This profile one, is an interesting one because it's really helpful in a piece where you're trying to give information or show what something is like, or who something, I was about to say who something is like, but that doesn't make any sense. You know, what something is like, what a place is like, helping people to learn about a person. Really helpful in academic writing, I have to say, because you could be talking about an expert in the field or on a topic. So that was a really good one. And I'm not going to remember who listed what because I was just kind of compiling this list as I went. I wanted to point out observation is something that's very similar to profiling in that you have to go out into a public space and observe. And I wanted to point out that the essay Tense did an observation. Really, it was an observation on herself, an observation on her feelings, an observation on her feelings in her skin and in her mind and her emotions. But it was also an observation of a place, you know, and being in a city and being at that massage parlor as well. So observation is a really powerful genre that somebody listed in their list. A lot of you mentioned letters and business letters. Somebody was really focused on business genres, you know, meeting minutes on the other page. But y'all, you could write a personal letter, a professional letter, and then you see that I have highlighted an open letter. It's a letter that is written to a particular person or group, and then it's published either in a newspaper or magazine is where it used to be published, but now it's published online so everybody can see the writer addressing concerns with the reader. And that's a pretty powerful way to communicate with somebody. You need a change to happen, and that's a really powerful genre. Let me see, I'm just going through. Somebody mentioned education, so I added the word reflection. Educational reflection is a really important part of becoming a teacher and being a teacher. In writing reflection essays is how teachers realize how to put new methodologies in place in the classroom and then reflecting on those. So that's a really powerful essay that could be written in a college class. That's an academic genre. And so it's really interesting to me that Composition 1 and Composition 2 were writing academic essays, but there's so many different ways you may end up writing academic pieces when you move into your 200, 300, 400 level courses. And then somebody mentioned ethnography, you all. This is such a powerful genre. Those of you who did the rhetorical analysis on Clint Smith's essay on the Confederate lies, he was basically writing an ethnography, you all, and it's a super awesome genre that forces the writer to learn about the culture and then to write about the culture as an expert. So on the other side, I have some genres listed out that don't really fit super easily with nonfiction writing, which is what we're doing in this class. You know, academic writing fits into a nonfiction writing category. But definitely there are ways to merge the genres. Pretty hard to incorporate, for example, a short story into a nonfiction piece. But I can imagine in an academic essay that you would maybe come up with a hypothetical situation which kind of puts you in the practice of writing in, you know, in a fictional way, because it's a made-up scenario that you're proposing if there's not a source associated with it. So y'all can see how these genres did show up in the writing, more like themes, more associated with heightened emotion if there was tragedy or drama. But you know, when we talk about the items listed in this genre list, we are really talking about fiction for a lot of these categories, and excuse me, for some of these genres. And then I want to point out that absolutely an argumentation and persuasion, parody, and satire can be used. It's used pretty equally across genres. And then you see some business writing genres. So lots going on in this handout, but want you to focus on the ones, for essays 3 and 4 especially, focus on the ones in this list more than this list, because this is really not what Composition 2 is about, but I'm super glad you have a realization that these are genres too, and they may have a thematic impact on writing, or you know, again, an association with some heightened emotions or some sense of emotion within a piece, but these are less likely in the kind of writing that we're doing. However, essay 2 is yours, and I'm so excited you're revising, and there are just the requirements that are sort of parameters, and you're doing what you want with this piece. So I'm super excited to see what you create, because you really are, for essay 2, creating something that may not fit in this course, but I'm so glad you're practicing with revision and thinking about how to apply some of these rhetorical concepts we've been studying this semester. All right, thanks for listening, y'all. Enjoy the handout. Thank you for your posts, and I'll talk to you later.